I'm home and I got all these books. I was going to open them with you, but I just got a bit impatient. So I don't actually remember ordering these books. I was expecting Yours Truly today by Abby Jimenez. There is an Abby Jimenez book in here, but I just can't remember ordering it. I think I'm probably in like a manic depressive mode, and I've just ordered all these books for a dopamine hit, but I honestly don't remember ordering these. I checked on my Vinted and it was £9.12, so I was like, all right, fair. 5 books, £9.12, whatever. First one, TJ Klune, Wolf Song. Now, the reason I'll have ordered this is because I recently read The Cerulean Sea, and that were wicked. Some brilliant characters in that book, beautiful story about 2 men who were gay. TJ Klune writes a lot of diverse characters, and I love that. I love any characters that diverse, like disability awareness, LGBTQ plus, I don't know, there's some loads of letters and stuff in there. I've not done enough research for that, but I'm a big believer that everyone should be entitled to just be what they want to be. Yeah, I'm not going to rain on anyone's parade, and I love reading about how different disabilities and sexualities and genders can affect people. Yeah, it's cool, it's good to learn. Now the next one, Dressmaker's Gift, Fiona Valpy. This, I believe, is like World War II inspired Auschwitz stuff, so I'll read that at some point. Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I will have ordered this because recently a man named Otto made me like ugly cry. I had snot coming down my face. My wife was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I've got this, it's fine." So I'm guessing I probably just ordered this because it's Frederick Backman, because he wrote the book called A Man Named Uwe, which inspired the film that Tom Hanks is in. This, I believe, looking at the back, is about bank robbery, and there's loads of anxious people in it. So it's going to cover how anxiety and things can affect you, which seems pretty cool. Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer. This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting Yours Truly, which is this one here. I'm guessing this is the 3rd book in that series. I don't know if I can read them out of sync, but if you've read this series and you know that I can read them a bit out of sync, then tell me, because if I can, I'll read it. Next one, Catherine Center, Hello Stranger. I have no idea what this book is. I would assume that this woman had some sort of bulk buy discount and she just kept luring me in, so I was like, more, give me more. But I'm going to read the back with you, because I've got no idea what it is. It says, let me just clear my throat because I'm poorly. That's why I've still got hat and coat on. I don't know whether I'm hot or cold. We're ready for stage. Struggling artist Sadie Montgomery never saw what was coming. ... Literally. 1 minute she's celebrating placing as a finalist in a prestigious portrait painting competition. The next she's lying in a hospital bed diagnosed with a probably temporary condition known as face blindness. She can still see, but every face she looks at is now a jumbled puzzle of disconnected figures. As she struggles to hang on to her artistic dream, work through major family issues and take care of her beloved dog Peanut, she falls in love. Not with 1 man, but 2. The timing couldn't be worse. Making judgment calls on anything right now is a nightmare. If only her life were a little more in focus, Sadie might be able to have it all. It's got some cracking reviews from Taylor Jenkins Reid, Emily Henry, and Jodie Picoult. So, yeah, sounds fun. I'll read that at some point. I want to give a quick shout out as well. I'm just reading through the comments from my last video that I posted today. Today's Wednesday. Obviously, when you're watching this video, it won't be Wednesday unless, of course, I've created some sort of like magic time traveling power. Then it could be. I am currently, while I'm looking for this, 13 or 14 days now off medication. It's playing havoc with me. My moods are much better, but I'm very erratic in the way that I'm behaving. I can't shut up, as you can probably tell from the video, but I don't care. I keep saying I'm going to post my real life on this page, and I'm not going to be fake. I want you to see what the reality of someone living with mental health problems is, someone living on medication or coming off medication. I want you to see that having a bit of mould here. I think it's here. Yeah, mould there. I'm fed up of cleaning it. I live in a 2-bedroom council house. I can keep saying to them, look, there's some moisture issues in this house. So they've put some new windows in. But yeah, until they give me some money to pay for that, I'm not doing it. Out of principle. We've got no kids with asthma in here. And when I was young, I remember, we were talking about this last night. Again, I'm procrastinating, but it is what it is. When I was younger, I remember stopping at my auntie and uncle's house, and the house was that cold. There were like mould on ceiling, and the house was that cold that you'd walk into the bedroom at night and there were condensation on inside at window, and you could draw pictures on inside at window. You'd get in bed at night and you'd be absolutely like shivering. It'd be freezing cold. So yeah, you know, if I could live through that, I'm sure my kids can live with a little bit of mould in our bedroom. Anyway, I digress. Barb Rowe, 8846. I love you the most, she says. Not only are you handsome and funny, I don't know why I posed, but you're also, most importantly, so kind. Also, I feel like you would talk to anyone if you saw him in the street. You are so down to earth. I love that. Love you the most. Thanks. The reason I want to shout out to this comment is because one of the things that I get weirded out by, like, I give me the ick when I'm in public, if I see anyone and they look at me, I'm like, they want to be friends. And then I talk to them, then I approach them, and then they think, do I need to ring the police on this strange man? No, you don't. I just want friends. Now, I saw a lady in town the other day. I told my wife this story as well. I saw a lady in the town the other day, and she had a hijab on. And I was like, excuse me. And she looked at me, she was like, oh, creepy weirdo. I was like, I just want to say I'm proud of you for firstly wearing your hijab and being true to yourself, but also wearing it in Chesterfield, which is where I live, it's not very diverse. There's not many different cultures, and there's a lot of old people who are very much like, get back to your own country, and they're just weirdos. It takes a lot of bravery for someone to have faith and follow the faith and not worry about repercussions and what other people might think or say. So, yes, I do talk to everyone in public, Barb, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a bit of an issue, if I'm honest with you. But the reason I do it is because over this last 12 months, while I've been battling whatever I'm battling, and I've been medicated, I've been like, there's got to be more than life. What's got me through this, as well as my page and speaking to people, is trying to find like a meaning of life. And this is, I know, a bit deep for some people, but I just thought, you know, if the meaning of life is going to school, getting an education, leaving, getting a job, and then working my entire life to try and pay off an house to leave for my kids, I was like, that just sucks. That doesn't sound like a good life for me. There's got to be more to life than that. So I just try every single day to at least make someone else smile and leave a lasting impression on someone else's life, and just try and make the world a better place. It's why I want to do things like this initiative. We're working with schools and getting books into schools. I just find that giving makes you feel so much better than receiving. And people say to me, like, how do you turn up every single day on your social media and do what you're doing? I'm like, because I get messages from people saying it helps them. So even if I can't help myself some days, then I can at least help others. Now, I am trying to work on helping myself. I'm a big believer that you do also need self-care as well. My biggest issue over this last kind of 12 months is lack of exercise. I've stopped exercising, I've been eating rubbish. It is an eating disorder. It's not just a conscious decision to get up and go to the fridge. Like, I don't enjoy being fat. I'd quite like to be able to look down and think, oh, they're nice trainers, but I can't see my trainers unless I lean forward. On a positive though, not being able to see your trainers means that you don't really have to buy any new trainers because you don't know what you got on your feet. So I am trying to focus a little bit on self-care. I want to start exercising a bit more, even if it just starts off as walking and things like that. And again, I'm digressing. I need to pick a new book because I did that video Wednesday, the other video about not buying books anymore. Them books that I've just gone through with you were already on order, so they don't count. And I now know that I've got more books coming that don't count because I definitely ordered yours truly. So that'll turn up at some point when it does. But I just need to start making a dent into these books that I've got because I already want to get more books. But I can't get more books until I've read the books that I've currently got because that is the rule. Anyway, when I picked a book, I'll come back to you. See you in a bit. It's 24 hours later. So today's Thursday and a lot's happened in the last 24 hours that I need to fill you in on. So I started Anxious People by Frederick Backman, but my head just weren't in the right place to try and read it. So I got about halfway through, and then I was like, maybe I'll come back to it another time. It just felt like on every page, it was trying to be funny. And it were funny, but I just weren't in place to be made to laugh. And since that's happened, oh, look at this, Ellie's just slapped that on me. Go on, lass. Since that's happened, my other parcel come. So the other parcel that I said don't count came. So this come, Abby Jimenez. Now, I went into library this morning, and my plan was to go to the library and start reading a book. This was the book that I took to the library with me. It was The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. And I got a chapter in, and again, I just couldn't focus. Too many characters' names, too many characters, and she actually writes in quite a unique way. So I just thought, I can't read that, so what else can I do? And then I looked in background. It were almost like it was meant to be. It was like a moment. And the library had this in. This is not the library's version, but the library had their own version in. So I was like, maybe I should read that. So I read a chapter anyway of Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and it just felt right. I think she might be best author in world. And then I got to thinking, well, I'm trying to put out book content, and it just feels sometimes like there's too much pressure on content creators to try and find like deeper meanings in books and perfectly written writing. And then I was just like, that's just not me. So why am I trying to pretend to be something else I'm not? Why don't I just pick up the book that I know I'm going to enjoy, So this is it, people. This is what I am reading next, because the last book that I read of hers, Part of Your World, just made my heart so warm. As warm as this chocolate that Ellie's just given me. It's Dairy Milk Crunchy. And I'm going to eat it while I'm talking to you, because I'm so professional. I've just dropped it on the floor, 5-second rule. Oh, I've got it. So, you're probably wondering, Tyrone, if this is 24 hours in advance, why have you still got the same outfit on? Now, I actually haven't. I changed my boxer shorts and I changed my socks, which in theory makes this a new outfit. And Ellie will back me up. Ellie, didn't I change my boxers this morning?
Yeah, because you wanted man naked.
Yeah, I walked in man naked and she threw me some boxes upstairs. So before I sit down and start reading Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, I'm going to show you what other books came in the Vinted parcel. So I got Joe Moyes, Me Before You, because I've seen film and it were right good, so I bought the book. I got Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, because it was part of a bundle and I got tricked into buying it. No idea what it's about. If you want to know, have a Google. I could have probably Googled for you and put it on screen, but I'm really poorly at the minute and can't be bothered. I've got Man Flu. A Switch by Beth O'Leary, author of The Flat Share. So charming, so sweet and so lovely. That's what Marion Keyes said. Blurb's a bit too long, so I'm not going to read blurb to you. But I'm guessing it's romance. And the last one, The Fiancé Farce. Rom-com at its absolute finest. The sapphic romance of my dreams. Oh, that's a right long blurb as well. So yeah, oh, ASMR. Can you hear it crunchy? You're welcome. So I think me and Ellie are going to lay on bed now. She's probably going to doom scroll for about an hour. We'll I'll sit and read this Abby Jimenez book. I think she's now my go-to author. Anything she writes, I think I might just 5-star going forward. I might not even read it. I might just look at it and go, oh, she wrote that. I'll get that 5-star. I've got... I'm dying, kill me. Save me, I mean. I've got a confession to make. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I could say, my on the side. I bought a book. I know in my last video I said that I weren't going to buy any books anymore, but me and Ellie went into town yesterday, and it was actually Ellie's fault. So we went in town, and I told her about this whole not buying books thing, and she says, yeah, but if it's your birthday money, you can buy it. I said, no, I can't, because I've got to read all books that I've got on my shelf before I buy any more. That's the idea of this challenge. She said, yeah, but it's your birthday. Your mum gave you £20, so if you buy that, it doesn't really count. I was like, it doesn't really work like that, babe. And then she picked this book up and she was like, yeah, but look at it, it's so pretty. So I was like, all right, then I'll buy it. So I'm not going to say it took much convincing, but in my defence, I have got the Inheritance games, the Final Gambit, is it? The Hawthorne Summit and the Brothers Hawthorne. I have actually got all them on my shelf. So this is part of the Inheritance games series, and I've got the first 4, so I thought I might as well get the 5th one. And it was Ellie's fault, not mine. So I'm going to go and read now anyway, because I've got a banging coffee sat next to me waiting to be drank, and I've got some right nice chocolate to eat. So I'll speak to you later. I'm so poorly, like properly poorly. I'm not just like man poorly, because I know when us men get poorly, we're like, oh, it's end of world. I said this to Ellie the other day. I was like, I understand that you have periods and pregnancy and stuff, but you've never experienced man flu. Like, it is a real thing. So I finished Yours Truly last night, and it were right good. So if you've not read Abby Jimenez, I know I keep raving about her, you need to. She's a romance writer, her characters are wicked, just really accessible, easy reading, and I just found them quite bingeable. This is very different to book 1. Book 1 was called Part of Your World, and that was more a relationship with like banter, humour, really witty. Like all the way through, you're kind of laughing at that one, and then you got the ending that you wanted. This one's very different. It is funny still. There's banter bits in it, but it's definitely more about like mental health and stuff. The main male character in this is probably the only main character in any book that's ever made me think like, am I gay? Like, he's just dreamy. He's got social anxiety. He's perfect. He's just fantastic. But he's not perfect in a sense that most romance book main characters are. He's got imperfections that make him perfect. And it's just class. I highly recommend you read this. This is book 2 in this world. I think you can actually read them in any order, but this is book 2 in the world, and I think book 3 is called something else. I'm too poorly to try and find it, but there's another book anyway. So, highly recommend you read that. And then this morning, I spent all morning not only feeling sorry for myself, but I also took some time to try and look for books. I just put a video out on Instagram and TikTok where I asked my favourite authors what their favourite books were. And it were cool. I got replies from Carissa Broadbent, who's the author of Serpent and the Wings of Night and Daughter of No Worlds. I got replies from Daniel L. Jensen, the author of Bridge Kingdom and Fate Inked in Blood. Chris Carter came back to me, M.W. Craven, Callie Hart, Bryn Weaver, and they all gave me loads of wicked recommendations. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll read one of them recommendations, because in a later video, I'm going to be reading their recommendations and then telling you more what I think, because I think that'd be quite a cool idea. One of the recommendations I got was from Abby Jimenez. She recommended anything by Kennedy Ryan, and I was like, I'm sure I've got a Kennedy Ryan book on my bookshelf, and I did. It's called Before I Let Go, and then I read the back and I was like, it's another romance. I don't know if I want to dive straight into another romance. I'm feeling something different. So I picked up Evil Mind by Chris Carter, and then I was like, I'm too poorly to read that sort of stuff. I'm dramatic, by the way. When I'm poorly, like, I just need everyone to feel sorry for me. So I thought, maybe I'll pick up an easy read, a palate cleanser, we like to call them. Boom, Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This lady also writes a series called The Naturals, I think, which is about a group of really talented teenagers who try and help the FBI solve cold cases, but they're like really, really talented. And I want to get that. I haven't got it yet. But this is a series that follows a girl called Avery, and Avery is just trying to have a normal life. She's just trying to go through school and work hard for a better future. Then out of nowhere, she gets a letter, and letter's like, woo, there's a really, really rich billionaire that's dead, and he wants you to have all his money. Come to his house and let him read will out. So she's like, what's going on here? So she goes there, family's like, but we're still alive. All his relatives are alive, and they're like, why is she getting all our money? And she's like, I don't know, just don't grief me. It's not my fault, but I'll take it, if that's all right. So then it says on back that she must move into the mansion she's inherited. It's filled with secrets and codes. The old man's surviving relatives are all there, obviously. And then the family's all bent on discovering why Avery got their money, because obviously they're entitled to it. Soon she gets caught in a deadly game, but everyone in the strange family is playing. But just how far will they go to keep their fortune? So I don't know if these are like enemies of hers, but she's yeeted into this building, surrounded by all these crazy people who are like, give me my money, give me my money. I think that's a video I've seen online. So yeah, I just thought I'd pick this up, and it just made sense because obviously the other day I bought book 5 in this series, even though I've not read book 1, 2, 3 or 4. But I'm just that kind of guy. I'll go into a bookshop and I'll talk to a bookseller and they'll go, read this, it's fantastic. Oh, kill me now. I'm so poorly, Daddy, please come back. So yeah, I'm going to read it. I think I picked this up at some point before. I picked it up and I started reading it and I was like, oh, this is right cool. Let me not read it yet. And then I put it down. I am that kind of crazy. When I say to you on this page that I'm crazy or I'm medicated, mental health problems, suicidal thoughts, it's not just that. Like, I am genuinely irrational and crazy. And I make crazy decisions. And sometimes watching this channel in the future, you're going to watch me and you're going to be like, Tyrone, you okay, hun? Like, that doesn't make any sense what you've done. I don't make any sense. Luckily for me, I'm married now. I've got 3 kids. I'm set for life. And she ain't leaving me because she's Catholic. So if she did leave me, she'd go to hell. Because I believe it's against Catholicism, like, rules and stuff, that she can't leave me. Although I don't go to church because Father Adrian just can't convince me. He keeps trying. I think I've been twice, for baptism at kids and for another reason. And every time Father Adrian sees me, he goes, Tyrone, come on. Church is always open for you. I know you're struggling with your mental health. It'd be fantastic if you could come. Love to see you. And I'm like, Father Adrian, I'm watching Formula One, mate. I'll let Ellie come with kids and they can come and flick water at each other and stuff. And yeah, one day I might come see you. But anyway, I digress again. I'm going to go and read this book for a bit and check in with you in a bit. Happy Sunday. I'm not going out in my pyjamas today. This book's class. I'm 127 pages into it and 31 chapters. So firstly, it's class because chapters are 8 short. And when you're feeling under weather like I am, short chapters are just wicked. Because you can read 3 pages, then you're like, oh, I'll just read next chapter. Oh, next chapter's only 3 pages. I'll read another, and then another, then another. But I'm not going to read loads today because it is mine and Ellie's anniversary. So I'm going to spend some time with her. But the book is what I thought it were going to be. So it's following a girl called Avery who's been given billions of pounds by this philanthropical man. I don't know if that's a word, but I made it up. It's like a philanthropist, and yeah, it's philanthropical. But he gives her bare money anyway. And then Alt family obviously want the money. They're like, well, you're not part of the family, so why should you get it? But then she's forced to move into this house. The agreement is she has to live in this house for a year. Then after a year, the money's hers. But if she leaves the house before a year's up, then the money just goes to charity. But inside this house, this Mr. Hawthorne, who was the billionaire, every year is made a new room within this mansion. So the mansion itself is like one big puzzle. And then he's also left loads of puzzles. In the wills, each will is a puzzle. Her will just says, I'm sorry. And she's like, mate, what are you sorry for? And then there's other family members that have got wills that are just riddles. So I think it's going to go down a route where they all have to try and figure out why he's left all the money to her, what all these riddles mean, and it's just fun. It's just a super fun time. So hopefully I'll finish this today or tomorrow, and then once I've finished it, I'll check in with you and give you a proper review of it. Now, regarding the medication, I am now, I think, about 14 days off of sertraline, and I think I'm finally on the up, which is brilliant. Honestly, like a week into coming off this medication, I was thinking like, oh, this is just minging. Get me back on it. Although that was never going to be an option for me because I did come into this knowing that it was going to be tough. I just didn't want to jump straight on meds. I wanted to go through a really tough time. Luckily, my support system is just class, so I knew that I had the support system in place to be able to get through the tough patch. And hopefully, I'm on the up and up now. The only thing I need to properly get sorted now is my eating. I've been binge eating while I've been doing this whole process, whatever this process is. For the last 12 months, I've used food as a coping mechanism, and like I said, I've gained loads of weight. So the next step in this journey is hopefully to try and get into the gym, get a bit of exercise done, go walking, eat better food, and just start moving a bit more. Maybe I could become like a dancer or something, because I've always been a bit of a mover. I'm joking, I can't dance for shit, but still, God loves a tryer. I also can't sing, but I will sing to you. One of my favourite songs to sing on my stories on my other socials is "Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns." I need a microphone. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? You're the saddest bunch I ever met, but you can bet before we're through, Mr. I'll make a man out of you. Really like that one. And I also really like "You Think I'm an Ignorant Savage." Sorry, I forgot my mic. Actually, I've got this here. "I've been so many places, I guess this must be so, but still I cannot see if the savage one is me. How can there be so much that you don't know? You don't know." Pocahontas, rest in peace forever and ever. IDST. Anyway, I'm just in a way better place. If you are new to this channel, this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. If you're not, and you've been with me for a while, you're going to have to start getting used to the new me, because I've been medicated for the best part of a year. And some people on sertraline feel numb. Some it works wonders for. Now, I've felt numb on sertraline. So you've probably seen little pockets of me throughout the last 12 months. So if you came here just expecting a sane man who will just talk to the camera, you're not going to get that. I'm going to sing at you. I'm going to dance at you. And you're just going to have to accept it. Because as I said in the previous video, you're not allowed to leave me because my dad left me. And that causes me great resentment. And I have trauma and fear of people leaving me. Daddy. Oh, I can't remember who it was in my last video who commented and were like, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. It's so true. It is so true. I know a joke about having daddy issues. I legit have daddy issues. If anyone out there has got two parents, text them today and tell them you love them. Because if I had a dad that I could text and say I loved him, I would. Anyway, this is not, I keep saying it is not a page about my traumas. Well, it is a bit, but I'm sure you'll get bored at some point. Right, from now on, no more daddy stuff. I'll just say it one last time. I wish I had a good dad. What a day. Anyway, I'm going to get off because we're all poorly today. The plan was that we were just going to eat in the house. But then I said to Ellie, what about if we go to Mum and Dad's house? She said, actually, Mum and Dad have said that we could go round to their house, but I thought maybe we'd stay at home because we're poorly. So then I was like, no, we'll go to Mum and Dad's house because we are all poorly. It makes sense to go round to their house, let them cook for us. We'll eat there, use all their pots, leave a mess, then we'll come home. There's no stress for us when we get back home. So we're going there to Ellie's Mum and Dad's house because she makes this banging beef dish, which is like loads of beef in bottom of a pan, and then it's got like cheese and stuff in it, and then onions, loads of onions, and then on top of it she puts like dumpling bread things and smothers that in cheese and mustard. Oh, it's banging. So I'm going to go there, eat that, and then I think that's about it. I'm probably going to wrap this video up now because I am aware that I'm doing what I do when I babble, I just talk and talk and talk. And I hope there's someone out there that listens because I need it. Like, this is good for me. This is my way. Some people journal. Some people pick up a book every day and they journal. This is how I feel, yada, yada, yada. Some people keep it all locked inside. And I kept it locked inside for 34 years. Then look what happened. I went suicidal. I got referred to my doctors. 3 lots of therapy, medication, propanolol, zopiclone. Do not keep it inside. I had a message from an author on one of my recent videos, my YouTube videos, and they said, I've been thinking about going on YouTube and just talking to people just to document my journey. I encourage every single one of you to. If you like books, like the reason I started my book stuff was mainly for me. When I first started it, it was a creative outlet, a way for me to just voice my fears and feelings to the world and not feel judged. I were almost scared to talk to friends and family, people that I knew, about intimate matters. I didn't want to talk about being abused as a child to people that I knew. So I thought, well, I'll just do it to strangers online because it doesn't really matter. And then strangers online turned into friends and family and community, and now it's fantastic. But I highly encourage anyone that has ever thought about posting about books online to just do it. Don't stress about numbers because numbers don't mean anything. Just go online and do it for yourself. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm talking to you a lot, and I just think to myself, every time I click submit or post or publish, whatever it says, I just think that might help one person out there. And if it does, wicked. If the rest of you get annoyed with me, I'm right sorry. But I'm going to keep doing it anyway. I'm going to get off because I am talking and talking and talking. And I'm going to put this back in its box. Anyway, if you've watched till this point, I love you the most. Don't forget to subscribe and stuff if you haven't already. And I'll see you at next one.